Warning. The following views shared on this podcast are the unfiltered expressions of our vibrant personalities. We are here to dissect the pulse-pounding world of pro wrestling, from the epic battles inside the ring to the captivating storylines that keep us hooked. Our discussions may venture into unexpected territories, from questioning the creative direction or analysing the artistry behind the suplexes and submissions. Please understand that we aim to entertain, educate and engage. But please also remember that we are just merely fans and observers, and we are not actual wrestlers, journalists or industry insiders. As we always say, by the Mandem, for the Mandem. Enjoy.
Yo guys, what's going on? Episode 195 of the Wrestling's podcast.
Make some fucking noise.
Yo was currently on his way to the States for family shindig. Probably in the next episode. Sam Black's not here today, Versy's not here today, but yeah. First of all, let's get into the main thing. What people want to know: how the hell did we end up on NXT yesterday, or even NXT this week? Big out to the good people at WWE for giving us the opportunity to give our predictions. I'm sure there'll be more stuff like that coming on where we do collab with NXT in that sort of state. So yeah, big up everyone at WWE for allowing us to be on there. Big up man like Shawn Michaels for even looking through the edit and saying, I want this guy.
Man like HBK, you know.
HBK knows us.
Yeah, so big up him, man. But yeah, there's plenty to talk about. Obviously, we had TNA, aka Impact. We're gonna call it aka now. TNA, aka Impact, had a great show this weekend. We just came up from Halloween Havoc. Will Ospreay has, thrown some stuff in the air. Apparently, there's interest in WWE, him going to WWE. What else am I missing, guys? Newsworthy stuff.
CM Punk to TNA.
Punk apparently was backstage at TNA. Who knows? TNA's will make it like it's becoming. I don't know. It seems like a nice place to be right now. It seems like the buzz is there now. So yeah. Anything else? Guys, am I missing?
MJF versus Kenny Omega, maybe.
Apparently, that's a rumor, isn't it? Is that confirmed?
I mean, they're building it.
Oh, okay, cool, sick. Oh, yeah, because I saw him handshake, and he said it 13 days.
Yeah, they're going to be on the same. They're going to be on the same Collision show, which is I think days before MJF breaks Kenny Omega's title record. So,
oh shit, okay, nice. That'd be a great match, and that's the first, right? The first time these guys have ever come face to face.
Yeah,
lovely, man. Hey, there's so much to talk about today. But before we go into it, intros, full special Nafi, formerly known as VHS Pappy, to my left, which is Mex.
What's up, people? My name's Mex. I'm a wrestling fan, wrestling enthusiast, WrestleManiac, if you will. As seen on WWE NXT, you're tuned into the WRESTHINGS podcast. Below, we have Laps.
Yo, Slaps, the main event liver and champagne sipper, back again on the WRESTHINGS podcast. You know what time it is. And to my right is...
Yo, people, it's your boy NK, aka the man of the hour, too sweet to be sour, aka the Hood Japanese correspondent, aka the CEO, the president, the commissioner, the TDM, Tokyo Dome Merchants. We here, man. We here.
Cool. First and foremost, let's spend this big shout out to Darius Lockhart for coming on the podcast, giving us one of our best shows we've had so far.
Yeah,
such a great guest, very genuine, knows his stuff, and Ashay wrestling is gonna literally be something big, man. So yeah, big up to Darius Lockhart for coming on for that, man. Man flew in straight from the States and straight into the studio. Do you know how crazy that is, bro? He didn't even get a chance to even open his bags. Man came straight to the studio.
We got a lot of high praise from our American counterparts, the American people that are doing media and stuff like that. Just saying it was an excellent interview in general, and obviously he's announced quite a few matches since then. People are on the card. Gresham's on the card. Trisha Dora, which we knew is on the card as well, facing Aja Kong. So yeah, Darius Carter as well. He's facing Jonathan Gresham. Yeah. Kevin Knight is on the card. So yeah,
Lee Moriarty as well. Just
good.
Yeah, Lee Moriarty as well.
Lee Moriarty as well. Yeah.
So yeah, it's gonna be a great show. I'm looking forward to it, man.
Yeah, sounds like it's a stats card already, man.
Say again, bro.
It sounds like it's a stats card already.
Yeah, and there's more to come. There's more to come. So, yeah, man, big up Darius Lockhart, man. And big up everyone at Shea. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great for sure.
Yeah.
Should we go straight into TNA? The TNA announces TNA name change. So, Scott Demore, right? I'm pronouncing this guy's name right.
Yeah,
Scott Demore announced that obviously there was a nice vignette. You see people walking through the forest. A lot of the TNA Impact superstars walking through the forest. They then link up at this meeting point and they're dropping stuff into the middle, right? Then from there, they announced that cool, the name Impact is now gone. Obviously, Scott Demore dropped a promo after. I think it was after that he dropped it before, and he announced that the TNA name has now come back because of obviously nostalgia. People know TNA. TNA is a household name. I think that's a great idea. I'm really happy with that. I love the brand of TNA, and it does make sense because even my Mandem that used to watch wrestling, they don't call it Impact. They still call it TNA. So it then brings up the things like, cool, let me go check what's happening at TNA rather than what's Impact. I remember the time was Global Force.
Yeah, Global Force Wrestling when Jeff Jarrett had it.
It's had bad name changes, to be fair.
Well, you're not feeling it?
No, I said it's had mad name changes, isn't it? Me personally, I don't know. I think I'm gonna be the person who's not down on it, but it's like they're changing the name back to TNA, but from the press release, it's essentially going to be the same product, which is fine for people. People have said good things about TNA, but I don't particularly watch TNA or Impact currently. So if it's the same product, then I'm not gonna be like, oh my god, it's TNA. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, congrats to the people who love it. Like, I'm not here to beep when it was parade, but it's just for me, it's like I'm not watching Impact currently. There's not much to really get me to watch Impact now, personally. So it's like, okay, they've changed the name, which is good for nostalgia purposes, but outside of that, the product's the same. If you weren't watching before, what's gonna make you watch now?
Do you know it's matches like Ospreay versus Mike Bailey is matches that will make you watch. Rumors about CM Punk going to TNA is what's going to make you watch. By the way, you haven't seen that match between Ospreay and Mike Bailey. That was a bang of a match. I watched.
Oh no, that was incredible. That's one of Ospreay. That's a match of the year contender.
Yeah, facts. So it's just stuff like that will make you watching, and I feel like the whole locker room or even just the crowd and stuff when you're watching the crowd and everyone's pumped up for what they're about to see and stuff. So I feel like the morale there is what will make them sort of. And plus, they've lived through many they lived through the pandemic. They lived through a time where no one was watching their shows. They lived through a time where the TV shows was on the channel. So, bro, they like you can never kill Impact.
No, it will never die, innit? Like, Impact TNA will always be, a brand that's known in wrestling, innit? It's just for me, for what I read from the press release, it was like, it's just name change, branding, it's more of a branding thing, innit? Which is fine, innit? But I don't like, for example, I'm not watching TNA expecting Ospreay unless he signs in. He's not someone who's contracted there. Do you know what I'm saying? Obviously, Mike Bailey, a match like that did make me interested because I've seen Mike Bailey in Indies before. But a match like that did make me say, okay, cool, maybe I might check this out a bit more, maybe. But just off name strength alone, nah, not for me. But again, I'm not here to be Mr. Negative Nancy in it. I'm just saying how I feel in it.
I hear that, NK. Personally, I think the name change is great because everyone has always known Impact as TNA. I barely know anybody that just calls it Impact. Everyone still says TNA. So branding wise, it makes sense for them to go back to TNA because now that they're TNA, no one's going to be calling them Impact. Do you get it? So now it's just widely recognized, TNA. I remember I used to see that when I was younger. Also with the rebrand, I feel like one thing they could do is somehow get that old school Orlando studio theme that they used to have. So a change in venue or a change in set from what they currently have, because I feel like it's a bit congested, whereas in the Impact,
they've changed it up a bit, So they've made it a bit more. They've changed the hard cam, so the hard cam is a bit more like AEW, WWE-esque right now.
Okay.
Before it was a different angle, and you can kind of see more of the crowd a bit like they're doing it like, do you know what I mean? They're a bit spread out. When they had the other studio before, everyone was like this, bro. Like
everyone was congested. But I have a question for you guys. Since they're reverting back to TNA, do you think they should bring back the 6-sided ring?
No.
Yes.
See,
That's their identity. Like, if you're gonna bring back TNA, do it properly. Like, bring back the 6-sided ring. Don't do just like the whole thing about TNA that made it visually stand out. Every time I used to go and challenge,
Yeah,
I used to go and challenge. I used to see a 6-sided ring, and I was like, "What the?" Immediately, like, just from visuals, you know, this ain't WWE.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like, you just know, not even from the letter. Just why is there a 6-sided ring, and then the impact zone with the portals
yeah,
and the red.
The original portals, the portals that I love.
Yeah,
on both sides. Yeah,
So like, for me, if you're gonna do TNA, do like. If you're gonna do the name change back to TNA and be TNA again.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But
also,
if you go on, Laps.
Just to add to that as well, yeah. With them bringing the 6-sided ring back, if they do, what's gonna make them stand out from their competition is they're the only major wrestling company in America with a 6-sided ring. So remember, they don't have AEW budget, they don't have WWE budget, so their brand is gonna have to carry them to the promised lands. Do you understand? So that 6-sided ring is actually vital, in my opinion, to making their rebrand become full circle.
So I'm not a fan of the 6-sided ring, never have been, but I wasn't there in the heat of the moment of TNA when it was live on TV. I've watched it all back, so I get it. I agree it is part of the identity. I would like it just to be used for like X Division matches or something, as opposed to just be there all the time. However, when we're talking about if TNA is gonna really come back as TNA, and not just in name, we can't negate, you know, things like the heavy dependence on the legends. Do we want to see that? Do we want to see not necessarily legends running the company, but we can't lie that legends were a key factor of TNA's DNA. So we could do it a new way. We've got obviously CM Punk, that's quote unquote a legend on a free transfer right now, and he's a free agent, but at the same time he costs hella money, and we know that. There's Ospreay that could be, you know, a massive name, legend-esque, you know, that could go there as rumored. Dolph Ziggler is the guy I'm thinking of. That if he went there, that is like almost could be like a leader of a revolution of if they're especially going to bring TNA back in. So I don't want to do this, but I'll say it because he's synonymous with TNA. Sting. We know Sting is retiring next year. He could go over there and be some type of TV personality every now and again, at the very least.
Yeah.
You know, there's a couple of names floating around. Shelton Benjamin's another one. You know, agent on his side. These are kind of maybe good legends as opposed to 50-year-olds trying to get one last paycheck. You see what I mean? So
Hogan and Flair and all of them, man.
Exactly.
Ran that company
that era's gone. That era's gone.
So there could be kind of good legends that they depend on to kind of, you know, grow TNA. But I think TNA, like when we think of growth, we're always thinking of things like, you know, packing out stadiums and who have they got on the brand that's going to make us want to tune in. I think something as simple as getting a TV deal is something they need to get to grow.
Absolutely.
Because if we turn around and ask each other now, apart from the plug, where do we watch TNA? Nobody knows.
My TV, I can't lie. Still,
you watch it on what?
My TV still.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure you can't. Yeah, I'm sure you can't name the service that you're using.
but even in America, I don't know. Even in America, like their viewership ain't that great.
Yeah,
when it comes to like, obviously this ain't like, well, I'm not gonna get into like super duper ratings talk, but the viewership ain't all of that. It's decent, but it's not. You know what I'm saying? It's not what it was.
But I'll tell you why that is. It's because they've been jumping around from TV station too much. Then they've changed their brand name, so they've lost all brand recognition.
But we have to also tell the story of why they lost their brand name. That TNA name was ran through them. Like, it got to a point where TNA had to Impact had to distance themselves from that TNA name because of the damage that was done to it.
Yeah,
during that post Hogan era. I remember like there was a joke online where TNA standing for tits and ass wrestling, because it was it was a joke of a product. Do you know what I'm saying? Like if we and obviously them bringing it back is good. It's a you can do good things with the name now because there's enough time to where we have nostalgia goggles on. But they had to distance themselves from the name for a reason. So
good 10 plus years as well.
For me, that's why I don't personally understand why they're even going back to the name, because I thought they've done such a good job, like cleaning up their act, using Impact, and we all know it's TNA heritage, but it's a new thing. So somewhat, see what I mean? So for me, that I guess I don't have that kind of emotional tie. I don't know why they bothered going back to TNA, but if they're gonna go back to it, it's cool. I agree with NK. I would like to kind of see them really kind of go for it or go back to, its identity and not just changing the name. But at the same time, like we're saying, the identity is scarred with all kinds of nonsense booking, terrible decisions, etc., which some of it made it, the product that we look back on and love. But, a lot of it is obviously what ran the company into the ground.
I'll be honest, when it comes to looking back at a company and there's been bad booking, no wrestling company is innocent. WWE 2012, 2016, they had a very higgy-hagga run. It wasn't that great. But if they were to change to TKO, we'll be pissed in it. We want that WWE name back.
But the differences between WWE and TNA is that the WWE is the machine too big to fail. The WWE could put poo on the screen. People are tuning in the next day. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like WWE it's a machine that can sustain itself forever. And they have the, even though they're putting on a good product now, they have the luxury of, we could take our foot off the gas and people will complain, but we're still WWE. When it came to TNA was a company, it had momentum. It was building itself through the X division. It was doing all of these innovative things in wrestling. But then for some reason, whether it was the idiotic decision to go head to head with WWE on Monday nights, whether it was booking Mandem like Mick Foley, who I love to death, in 2009 as your world champions, whether it was doing Nation of Violence nonsense with Samoa Joe, whatever it was with TNA, it just came one era after, and obviously they've kind of paid for it, but in the sense where now they're rebuilding they've rebuilt their name, and Impact Wrestling is now, like you said in the beginning, they've got a decent locker room, good vibes. Like, nobody really has a negative thing to say about Impact Wrestling compared to TNA back in the day, where, fam, how can you have a company where all your legends are gone? Every single, like AJ Styles, Joe, Daniels, none of the man that they built up ended up staying. They left. And not even on cool, people can leave, but they left on a tip where I didn't feel valued by the company when they're your legends. Do you know what I'm saying?
I hear that.
So when we say that they'll bring back, and that's the thing, when they say they'll bring back legends and they'll bring back the name of TNA, you can't even bring back the legends that made TNA.
True.
You can't even bring them, man.
But then, even saying that, we can't bring them back because the thing everyone will be saying is, you're bringing old timers back on TV, etc. I think what's really going to revitalize TNA is if they go back to their basic roots, focus on that X division and build up the talent within that group, because that's what made TNA the first time. And also, they had a lot of mistakes, 2010 with the Hogan era, etc. We have to remember TNA was a very young company. They were only 10 years old. Whereas WWE...
10 years was a long time, I can't lie.
No, 10 years, that's still young, because if we look at WWE from the 80s to the 90s, wasn't there a sudden decline?
Where? I mean, but what I'm trying to say, like, that's different times, though. That's different time. People were WWE early, like when they first started off. That's different times because, like, some of them didn't have TV, right? You have to be in a certain state to watch it.
Okay, that's a fair argument.
But if TNA, like 10 years, it's slightly, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Maybe money. If money, because obviously, once AEW hits 10 years, it's going to look mad. The whole AEW look crazy. it's gonna look like you've never seen it before. But
No, I heard that.
yeah, I don't. Yeah,
Yeah,
Um,
with T, yeah,
or-
not to get into the politics too much, but with TNA it was very much a self-destruction. Like it was not what it was.
Well, I'll be honest, yeah. Even though yes, TNA is not WWE, you can't get rid of them, bro. They pull money out from somewhere, bro. They're still here till this day. Now they're 20 years running.
That's fair.
They're
That's
not
fair.
going nowhere. Like if this was, look, they tried to compete with WWE, they lost. Most companies they will fold, they will be sold, they'll close the company. TNA, nah, we're staying here. I have to give them their credit. They survived.
Yeah.
They've survived pandemic. They've survived WWE. They've survived Hogan era. They've survived rebrand. This company's bulletproof. They're bulletproof.
Basically, there's definitely an element of that. They've done very well, like you're saying, to kind of stay about amongst everything, all their troubles, all of their self-inflicted troubles with all the competition coming, people picking off their best talents. Yeah, they've done very well, and I can only hope that this TNA coming back it doesn't force them to start making stupid decisions. I'm sure it won't. No. Because Scott D'Amore's done a really good job since
he's patterned. I can't lie, he's patterned. Still.
Yeah, no, he's got a business acumen, and and even that like I said, we said this before when AEW first formed, but I feel like you will never take down the WWE, but I feel like TNA building relationships with New Japan, building relationships with these disparate companies here and there is how you're going to create a wrestling ecosystem in it, and that's all of these companies working together. Obviously, we might not get every single company working together, but building bridges, building bonds, like the bond they have with New Japan. I think they have another bond with another. They have bonds with a variety of different companies. Yeah. But that's what's going to help the pro wrestling industry. And that's what's going to keep TNA's name up. And even like we just said, Will Ospreay. Will Ospreay is obviously New Japan are very, freeing with their talent. So he can go here and wrestle here. That's what's going to bring attention to these shows. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Seeing wrestling being a multiverse. Yeah, that's what's going to help the business in general.
Also, to add on to that as well, with TNA, I personally don't think they should try go head to head with AEW, WWE. They don't need to sell out arenas. TNA is actually, they could be like a Lucha Underground, a very small type arena. And they just have loyal fans that are just like lit.
You know what I say?
They don't need that big crowd stadium type style of wrestling. I don't think they need that.
Small crowds are good.
They're good. They're excellent.
But is that not dependent on how many people want to see it? For example, if their fan base, like for example, if they now sign CM Punk, they sign Ospreay, or they sign Dolph Ziggler, or another WWE star, like for example, I'm just throwing a name out. Seth Rollins leaves, he signs for Impact. I'm just saying. I'm not saying he's going to sign for Impact. And somehow within a year, the capacity goes bam. They're doing Madison Square Gardens. They're doing this place. They're doing that place.
Too big.
They can easily now.
That's a big jump. That's a big jump.
That's the best.
I'm just saying. In hindsight, I'm just saying. Like,
so from what I believe, their capacity now, they're usually doing around the 2K mark in terms of capacity for shows and stuff. That's like intelligent, steady growth would say go to about 4 or 5K venues and start working on those and filling those out and stuff like that. We can't use, especially what the likes of the Bucks and Cody done with the original All In. That is not the barometer. Like that's not normal. I don't want to say fluke, but it was a well-worked plan that they brought to life because of their own name value that they can get on the card and things of that nature. That is not normal at all. So yeah, doing 10K shouldn't be said like it's not normalized like that sort of thing. But yeah, I think growth wise, they need to be TV. We've spoken about people in America can't find them. That's a massive problem because that's your home base. Yeah. So if them man, I remember specifically in the pandemic, they were just literally channel hopping. Yeah. Like people were tweeting where we watching Impact today. Like so, if they need to get a cable network, even if it's a small or whatever, like
didn't they get that CW deal?
No, that's NW. That's NWO. NWA.
That wasn't Impact.
That's NWA.
Oh shit! But no, Impact's got the zone, no?
No, they don't have that specific zone. They have something next to it.
The zone's not cable TV, is it?
No, the zone's premium.
It's I don't know. It's
The
like
zone's
They
pay-per-view.
need cable TV.
yeah,
They need
yeah.
cable TV.
Okay,
That-
cool.
that's
Like a
it.
CBS or TNT or like a ABC.
They ain't getting those. They ain't getting those.
I think immediately their viewership grows if they just have cable TV. No matter how small the channel, the viewership will grow, and then you go from there, depending on if that TV growth can then turn into, you know, like people attending shows and things of that nature. But they, you know, Laps talked about having a diehard audience. I would argue anyone that watches Impact right now is diehard.
Yeah.
Because there's WWE, there's AEW, there's New Japan. Like me, I'll hold my hands up, not disrespectfully. I watch indies over Impact.
Fair enough.
Like, so anyone that's really watching Impact right now cares. Like, they're trying to see something. So
100, I agree.
Yeah.
I watch for Impact. I think Impact is mainly watched if there's something mad happening on the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Like what we had this weekend and what we had, I think there was one weekend where someone appeared, I forgot who it was. But yeah, stuff like that.
But I'll tell you what, with this rebrand, that's enough to get me to want to watch Impact and be committed.
How long?
Yeah, for how long?
How long?
We'll see when we cross
how
that.
long? Because
this is just enough to get me through the door. Like, I need to see the products first on what they do for like a couple weeks before it determines whether I'm gonna be committed or not.
Let me just say, this is how AEW tricked me with Ring of Honor. When Ring of Honor came back, I thought they were more so gonna honor the legacy of Ring of Honor and give us, you know, those hard hitting matches, those real good battles and high level. Maybe not, you know, Danielson on Ring of Honor, but at least someone like Roderick Strong that we could have seen as a cornerstone, and give those kind of wrestlers a good platform. And Ring of Honor wasn't that. It was literally just, let's take matches back to back to back. Let's get rid of AEW Elevation and AEW Dark and basically turn this brand into that. And it's doing a disservice to Ring of Honor in name. And I literally have my pecking order, especially on the weekends, because it comes out on Thursdays, of what I watch on the weekend, and Ring of Honor is near the bottom. I watch Rampage over Ring of Honor because Rampage is even 1 hour, so I can just watch that and done.
Rampage was good. Rampage is getting better.
Rampage is alright. Yeah, Rampage is alright.
Rampage has been good. Rampage has been good.
I can't lie. Mr. Cole versus Rocky Romero. That was a solid.
Yeah, that was a good match. It was a very good match.
Graps.
I'll be honest. If we're still comparing that to Impact, we need to remember Ring of Honor, their owner has nothing to lose. Impact has everything to lose. They have no choice but to put on a good product.
I'm just letting you know. All I'm saying is these things can start good. You can be excited at the beginning, and I'm not saying don't be excited, but at the same time, don't be surprised if they let you down, innit? Like,
of course, these wrestling companies always let us down. WWE let us down countless times, and we're still here.
Here's the thing, though. But before we move on, because I think there's more to talk about. Before we move on, for me, it's just like maybe I'm just mad. But for me, what is there to be excited about? It's a name change.
Yeah, a name change that's good.
Like, because for me, it's like, don't look. People have been raving about Impact as a product, innit? Like, people have said Impact is a good product. But if you wasn't watching Impact, if you wasn't watching the Trey Miguels, if you wasn't watching the Josh Alexanders, if you wasn't watching the Jordana Graces before, the names is nostalgia enough to sustain you to watch all of them people that are still going to be on the product. AJ Styles ain't reincarnating. Samoa Joe, like, it's going to be the people. It's Impact. TNA.
Bro.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying if those people never like hooked you before, would the symbols of TNA hook you now? Maybe I don't know. Am I coming across as a hater?
No.
Look, you're being critical, and I understand your criticism, but branding is important, bro. No one's gonna drink Coca-Cola if it doesn't say Coca-Cola on it.
I doubt it, bro. I drank Lidl the other day, bro. If it's Coke flavored, I'm thinking
if I gave you an empty bottle, no label, and it was just a black substance, would you drink it?
Yo,
That was mad.
I mean, okay. With that being said, okay, so if you gave me a bottle of water and it was black, yeah, I probably wouldn't drink because I know that's not water.
But if it said Coca-Cola, and the
Then I'll drink it.
Bottle,
If I went like this is off topic here, but I'll make it quick. If I came to your house and you gave me little Coca-Cola, yeah, I'm drinking that. Do you know why? Because it's Coca-Cola.
Nah, you're lying. You know
No.
it tastes different though.
So wait, you come to my house, I offer you Coca-Cola, you're not gonna drink because it's little.
No, I'll drink it, but I know it's not Coca-Cola. I know it's not.
It's just cola.
Yeah, it's just cola.
Yeah,
off-brand.
Soda.
Anyway, Frankie Kazarian will be there for the nostalgia people that want to see.
You know, we just have to see. Obviously, we watched the first show. Like, just enjoy it for what it is. If you never watched Impact before, don't expect anything mad. But if you have watched Impact before, then yeah, just enjoy it, man. Just to see how it's gonna go in it from here, in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear it.
Anyway,
let's get into this Ospreay.
William.
WWE interest. Can we call it interest? Flirtations. I don't know. Throwing stuff in the air, see what sticks. But yeah, Ospreay had an interview with Metro. I think it was the Metro newspaper. And he basically kind of hinted that he's basically coming to the end. Does he come to the end? Say he's come to the end, or he's getting quite tired, come to the end, and he wouldn't mind a WWE move.
Yeah.
He's open to it.
He's open
to a WWE move. He's open to a WWE move. Personally, Ospreay in the E would be epic. I can't lie, it would be epic. But I don't know. Okay, look, there's lots of dream matches for him. One being Seth. Seth and Ospreay in the ring is going to be absolute fireworks. We know that Roman Reigns is coming to Roman Reigns is, I won't say finishing up, but he's slightly wants to go to Hollywood and that. So I feel like WWE do need new stars, and if they would want to make someone a star, Ospreay could be a good star in WWE. Am I wrong? Am I right?
No, I mean, Ospreay's an asset into any company he walks in.
Yeah.
So it's not even a thing of I thought every company he walks in to will treat him with the utmost value. He could go anywhere. It's just obviously the product I watch the most is AEW right now. So I'd like to see him at the place I watch the most in it.
I hear that.
And also it just obviously it just fits. I've seen him on TV all this year, and Tony Khan, I can't you can't give him all that pyro and not sign him.
Can I mention something? I'm sorry, this whole Don Callis club here, I can't let these to move Ospreay out of it, you know. It just looks like
he's barely in it though.
But when he comes, he shouldn't be with them, bro. Just even move them away, because if he does sign one day, I don't want that. If he signs one day, I don't want him to be in factions like that. Obviously, have your what do you call it?
United Empire,
yeah. But don't this whole Don Callis stuff. I don't know.
No, but did you watch that's barely gonna.
I watched the what do you call it? Wrestle Dream. And when he came on Wrestle Dream, I even forgot. Lucky even forgot that he was in that match.
No, but you see what Kyle Fletcher said on Dynamite?
What did he say?
He said, "I'm not." Basically, Don Callis. They're still telling the Don Callis Kenny Omega storyline, and then Kyle Fletcher's like, "I'm not doing this for you. I'm doing this for Ospreay."
So what are you trying to say?
Ospreay and Don Callis is the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Okay.
Yes, they're Don Callis family, but it's the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Ospreay is his own man at the moment. I think this is a temporary alliance. We've seen it in wrestling all the time. It's temporary alliance. Ospreay, for example, from time when we saw him at All In, he was by himself doing his thing. If Ospreay was
he came out of Don Callis as well, by the way, on there.
When?
On All In.
An entrance.
Yeah.
Was he?
Yeah. The only reason I wouldn't necessarily agree with that, NK, is because even on the Don Callis entrance, the picture, the thing, he's one of the disciples on the table. So it does seem like it's a bit deeper than a temporary alliance. It doesn't look like it's a full on he's here because he's in Japan and stuff. But the optics say one thing, the presentation sometimes says something else. I think Ospreay, in terms of just where he's gonna go, what he's doing right now is playing the field. and seeing, you know, right, my February 2024, my contract's up. I can I go anywhere. Like even Impact, he obviously saw how good of a, you know, close-knit family Impact would have been this past weekend. And you know, if we're looking at it, he said he wants to be somewhere where he can be at home regularly enough. Impact record like what, once a month, once every 2 weeks or 3 weeks or something like that. So he could go in, fly in for tapings, do what he needs to do, go yard again, be back in England or doing indies if that's what he wishes, be with his family. Yes, financially they may be not the best choice. But in terms of, you know, we saw him earlier this year speak on his body and how much he's got left in the tank, basically. So that could be a better choice rather than, you know, wrestling every week, every weekend, everything like that. WWE, we know, would be probably a very strong financial package, lighter in terms of the level he has to wrestle at as well. He doesn't have to do anything super crazy. And you know,
is
we say
dates. The only issue for him might be the dates, because
only issue would probably be
if he's like the biggest, if he's like the like a big face or heel, whatever, they're gonna be expected at every house show
everywhere. But but it's then at the same time, it's like if he looks at it from the point of, well, I'll sign this WWE contract for say 3 years, let's say, I'll literally like smash it, take home all of this money, and then I'm done with this place and this schedule. AEW could probably provide him the best of both worlds in terms of a nice financial package, maybe some flexibility with, you know, managing home life and not being on TV all the time, as well as give him a lot more quote unquote dream competitors, dream matches, this, that, and the other. AEW is probably the best balance, and we can all see from a mile away, AEW has heavily rolled out the red carpet. He's been walking this red carpet for at least the past year in AEW.
He's undefeated.
Tony Khan's office. So yeah, we know they're doing everything in their power to ensure come February, this is where he's signing. So all of this could just be him doing a show like, oh yeah, this company's really great, I could sign for them. Yeah, I'm interested. I can listen to offers from here. I need to think about my family. All showmanship, all contract negotiating, but he already knows where he wants to go. So we'll see.
Yeah, he's being represented by the same person who represents Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, just out there, to secure the highest deal possible. Now, that doesn't guarantee he'll go AEW, because remember, Young Bucks, Omega, Hangman Page, they were all negotiating earlier this year with WWE in order where to go. Do you know what I'm saying? And according to reports, it wasn't a foregone conclusion that they were going to sign with AEW. So even though they're represented by the same people, it doesn't necessarily mean that he's a guarantee for AEW. He's a safe bet for AEW. Like, if I was to put money on it, I'd probably say he's going to sign for AEW. But hey, nothing's for certain. Nothing's certain. And I feel like with WWE, with this new TKO money, they've got a lot more money to play with right now. Obviously, AEW are expecting money from their Warner Brothers deal, but we know WWE's got the big bag right now, and they can offer man hella bread. And you know, but in this world, Mandem are driven by passions, but passions have to align with. That's why it's going to be, respectfully to TNA, the two main contenders are WWE and AEW.
100%.
In this thing, especially because I read from the report, like Ospreay's management, the quote was he's trying to seek the best deal for him possible, which means big money.
I'll be honest, whatever deal he takes is gonna set him up to be a millionaire.
I think he already is a millionaire, you know.
Not already, yeah.
I think he already is a millionaire.
I hear go to the highest bidder, but also make sure your work environment is suitable for you.
Ospreay walks into a company. He's Ospreay, WWE, AEW. He's one of the top stars of the company. Like, you don't sign Ospreay to just have him do no. He's a main eventer. He's a main eventer.
You know what? My fear, though, and I think this is I'm allowed to say this. If he goes into AEW, he is a main eventer name. That's not being argued. But with the booking, does he walk into the main event? Does he walk into the AEW World Title picture? We've
Which he
seen
should.
how they are treating
Jay White.
Jay White's one example, but even like the likes of Kenny Omega right now, like it's and Kenny Omega's I know he's a different case. It's basically his company. Doesn't want to be kind of seen like he's winning everything in his company, whatever the case may be, and he's more towards the back end, September of his career, if you like. Like I just feel with sometimes some of these names come into AEW and we think yes they should be here. They often don't go in at this position.
I'll tell you why with Ospreay is different, because they've done it with him not even wrestling in the company. Think about the position Ospreay got at All In compared to Mandem, who are even in AEW. Ospreay got I think one of the biggest marquee match. He's one of the only few people with a singles match on that card. Think about the rollout he got for both Forbidden Doors. Again, one of the few people to get a singles match. I think he's one of the most featured featured stars that's not an AEW wrestler on Dynamite, on these pay-per-views. I feel like, it is fair to say the way they've rolled out certain these men, but Mandem in AEW, I can't even name Mandem who are actually contracted to the roster who've gotten the rollout Ospreay's gotten in AEW.
Can I say something to that? And you're right in terms of everything he's achieved without signing an AEW contract. What I'll say to that is talking stage. What I'll say to that is flirting, going on dates. Like I said, they're courting. We know they are doing and putting him in nice position. Not to say he doesn't deserve it. We know he's probably the best wrestler on the planet right now. They are showing him the high life. If you come here, this is what we can give you. Hakkasan, Sexy Fish, all of these places. But then when he actually signs, I'm not saying he's going to drop off a hill, but will that be maintained? And I just don't think there's enough evidence to say for sure it will.
I think he's going to be... They're going to roll out the carpet for him the way they did Danielson and Punk. Those are the two guys where I feel like as soon as they hit the company, carpet was rolled out and it's been maintained for them. But Danielson now because he's in back, but Punk's different. Punk's 7 years. I'm not saying they'll be the same, but I'm just saying the way, for example, we knew Punk was coming through the press conference, but the way they just rolled out that carpet for him is Danielson Punk-esque for me right now.
Guys, I think let me be honest, because I've heard everyone's opinions, but I think with Ospreay, it makes sense for him to go to WWE. Hear me out before you shoot me, because
let me hear you, because I want to say something as well.
Go for it.
He's in AEW already. Cool. The AEW crowd, they're familiar with Ospreay. If he goes to WWE, that's not only a brand new audience. Obviously, some people know him, but that's going to elevate his status as a wrestler. Goes to WWE, more eyes are on him. He main events a few pay-per-views. He might even have a WrestleMania moment. Regardless, if he goes to WWE and then decides to end terms with them, he can still go AEW and they'll still roll out the red carpet for him. Because whatever he does in WWE is only going to elevate him further. He's not going to go WWE and fall off a hill. Do you get it? It's just that we're scared of him going to WWE because it's WWE. We know
I'm not scared. I'm not scared anymore.
But I think it actually makes sense for him to go WWE. Because, bro, think about it. He's going to have another million pairs of eyes watching him. That's a brand new audience. He's unlocked a different realm for him to entertain and get paid for. He'll get more money. He'll have an elevated status. Potentially main event at WrestleMania. Maybe. Bro.
For Ospreay can definitely main event WrestleMania one day. For sure. Ospreay can definitely main event WrestleMania, for sure.
So the only reason I want to see him go WWE is to watch Bear Man walk back their Ospreay takes. I want to see Bear Man walk back them takes about flippy, jumpy. I want to see.
I think after the Kenny match, I think after the Kenny match, which they had at not even Forbidden Door, the Wrestle Kingdom, a lot of men have taken back what they said for sure.
Of course, they have to.
A lot of man.
And also as well, there's a statement. Yeah, Ospreay the best in the world. I believe it until he steps foot in WWE.
No. Ospreay is the best in the world, regardless.
No. I believe he's the best in the world, but I want it to be proven.
He's proven it.
Sorry, there's nothing to prove.
He has to step foot in the WWE. That's the
no, not anymore, man.
I wouldn't agree. WWE is the proving ground.
Yeah,
no.
That's not the proving ground for that.
Proving ground. He's done 99% of the work already. WWE is that 1% to make it 100.
But if he goes AEW, then what does that turn then?
He's conquered AEW. Well, he's not conquered.
He hasn't conquered it. They are there's matches for him. Him versus MJF will just make.
Bro, WWE and AEW are like the last 2%. That's it.
Okay, with that being said, there's
he's
two
clocked
things.
most of wrestling, bro. He's clocked the game. He can retire by 40. He's done everything. Even earlier. That's what I'm saying. WWE is the next step.
Okay, with that being said, two things, yeah. Can I see an Ospreay in the WWE? I don't know. I can't even imagine. Ospreay. I can't even imagine that. Two. What other matches? What other matches are? Oh, wait. No, should I say that right? Okay, what other matches in AEW can you see this guy being put in?
Danielson.
Yeah, keep going. I'm just which one.
MJF.
Yeah.
Hangman Page.
Shane Strickland is one of them as well.
Swerve.
Okay.
Who else?
Adam
Darby
Cole.
Allin.
So there's a bunch of
for me, apart from maybe Danielson, and maybe because Danielson's my guy, these are all just great matches. But dream matches is subjective, innit? Like a man told me the other day, Andrade versus Danielson was a dream match.
I didn't know that.
So this is what I mean. So dream matches is subjective to what you want to be.
Hangman Ospreay for me is a dream match.
Yeah, I'll probably agree Hangman is as well, to be fair.
Hangman's a dream match for me. Obviously, I think the term dream match is something that, for me, I thought never would happen, and is now happening. For example, Okada, Danielson, that's a true dream match because I never thought in a million years that would happen. Cool. Forget dream matches. When I think about marquee matches that I would, if I see this on the pay-per-view, I'm watching. There's a lot of matches for me, Ospreay. If you put Ospreay against a lot of these guys, if you put the graphic up, I'm watching that pay-per-view.
Okay, if I now say Ospreay versus Roman Reigns for the undisputed heavyweight title, how does that feel?
It's Roman, innit?
It's a marquee match.
Cut it off. Ospreay versus Ricochet. Monday Night Raw.
You're watching.
Or Heritage. That's Heritage.
Okay, cut that off. Ospreay versus Chad Gable.
You're watching.
It's not a marquee match.
It's not a marquee match, but it's a great match. Even Ospreay versus what?
Ospreay. Wait, you're forgetting. This guy can make a bad wrestler look good. He's the best in the world, right? You're watching regardless.
That even Ospreay versus Takeshita.
Yeah, there's on both sides. There's great matches, that can happen, innit?
Yeah,
but you need to remember, on one side is gonna have more eyes than the other, way more eyes.
So this then comes down to what Ospreay wants. Career-wise. Is this, I want a big fat paycheck, I want my name in lights, I want to be globally recognized, I want an easier wrestling style, or is this, I want to go onto an emerging platform in AEW, be their biggest star because, like I say, the likes of Kenny, Danielson are more humble with it and on their way out. I can go there and literally be their biggest star, earn a ton of money, maybe have a more relaxed schedule as well, still have the freedom to maybe do indies and go back to Japan and stuff like that as well. It really just comes down to what he wants. Me personally, I said this with Kenny Omega. I am desperate to see these people have a WrestleMania moment because as children, they would have grown up and seen WrestleMania. And whether we say they like WWE now or not, like for me, it's almost wanting them to fulfill that tick box of what they surely wanted to be part of as a child while they got into the business. However, for like I said with Omega, I wouldn't want to see Ospreay there for more than a year. Do it in a year, hit it hard, get out of there, earn your money, and then go back to wherever. That's what I wanted with Omega, and I think Ospreay is probably the only other person in the world I would say if he could get something like that, that's it. 1 year and out. But it's most likely a myth.
They're locking this guy for a multi-year deal.
I know.
Cash money records. Just go.
Let me add on to that as well. Yeah, let's say Ospreay gets 2-year contract, bro. He's not gonna have to wrestle the extreme wrestling style that he does. He's gonna get more money. He's gonna have more eyes on him. So he will technically have a more relaxed career. He'll be able to retire early. No, because he's not wrestling that. He's not.
Yeah, but the difference is
and also we're forgetting that obviously when he leaves like the indie scene, there's gonna be a void. People are gonna miss him. So when he comes back, that red carpet's gonna be there. It's gonna be even bigger for him. Whatever decision he does, bro.
But that's all dependent on how WWE treat him at the time. If I'm gonna be at WWE, for example, if I was one of the best wrestlers in the world and I've gone WWE, Triple H has treated me well, they've given me a shot at Royal Rumble. I've won a Royal Rumble in 1 year. I've got WrestleMania moment. I've won the title in that same year. I've had a tag team title in that same year. Bro, you think I'm leaving? No, I'm staying for another year. So it depends how WWE treat Ospreay when he walks into that room.
But also, it also goes back though to what Beck said. What do people want? Because, for example,
what do you mean? What do people want?
No.
What does Ospreay want?
No. Because
what does Ospreay want?
No. Because Daniel said, for example, he's somebody who did everything in WWE. He had all the money offered at him. My man left because I want to bleed.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? And I know
he was there for a while though.
No, he was there for a while, but I'm saying he got the red carpet rolled out for him again when they offered him a new contract. Do you know what I'm saying? And for certain people, different things motivate different people. Some people are motivated by the sense of, hey, cool, I want the money. And obviously money, in both scenarios, you're going to make money. So it's almost like not a non-factor, but it's like, I'm guaranteed money either way.
Yeah.
Okay, what do I want? Is it the notoriety? Is it the fame? Or is it to be, and it might sound weird to us, but some people are genuinely obsessed with this stuff. Do I want the acknowledgement from my peers? Do I want to go down as the best in the world? And to us, that might be, just pick the bag now. But to some people, that's what genuinely wakes them up at night and be like, I want to be the best.
We can't lie. It's even become a thing of, can I now be the best in the world that never went to WWE?
Yeah.
That could be an accolade almost that is being chased.
That's a silly accolade, I can't lie.
No, like it's like I'm this big. I'm I'm talking tongue in cheek, but it's like we look at the box now. Look how much money the box have made without ever touching WWE in that sense, being big stars. Like they just done it on themselves. So
the accolade should be, I've made the most money in wrestling without having to go to WWE. That's
whatever you want to call it.
It's also like football.
Messi.
Some people no, not even Messi. Everyone as a kid probably grows up like in Manchester, wanting to grow up playing for Man United, right?
But playing the Premier League.
I'm using Man United as well because they're the biggest team in the world. Then you've got a little project in Man City, aka W. They're building something, and now look at what Man City have become. And imagine now being like a player, being like, okay, I didn't go Man United, but I built Man City. I'm Aguero to this place. Now look at the way we look at Aguero. That's the same for what AEWs. Imagine saying, okay, cool. I didn't go to the biggest company, but I built the secondary company to a point where, Man City ain't bigger than Man United, but you have to say their name in the conversation now. AEW will never be. Yeah, do you know what I'm saying? AEW will never be WWE. But if Ospreay goes to AEW and builds them to the point where you have to say AEW's name in the conversation now. Do you know what I'm saying? There's different things that motivate different people, innit?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So today WWE announced that we're getting a new pay-per-view, a new PLE. It's called Bash in Berlin. What's funny, guys?
Why were you emphasizing that so hard?
Bash in Berlin. I'm certainly looking to go. Berlin's literally like what 4 hours away, 3 hours away,
less than
even, yeah. And tickets are cheap as well, so I definitely will try and make the trip. The only issue is that we've literally got all in for the European people. We got all in the week before. Then we got WWE Bash at Berlin. I feel like wrestling, like, is that too much wrestling for you guys? Is that week, or
it's WWE being WWE at its finest.
They saw what happened last week.
For me, this isn't an issue. I'll be there.
I'll be there.
For maybe people coming from further afield, you know, AEW All In was great. You could just naturally imagine a lot of people came because it's the inaugural one, first time ever, etc., etc. Will some of those people that wanted to be there to make history wise come the second time round without maybe the card being so great or whatever? Who knows? But WWE coming to place themselves in Europe a week after AEW is literally a case of, all right, fans, it's almost like you pick, what do you want to go to? Of course, some fans will be there for both, but I can't help but think they're literally trying to, you know, tear some people away from going to AEW All In with, we're doing this first time ever show in Germany and we are the established name in WWE, come over here, sort of thing. There would be an element of that with them planning the event. We'll see how it goes. I think AEW have done fantastic to, you know, be in a position to book Wembley again. I think naturally it'll be natural for the attendance to drop. It will all depend on who they can get on the card and stuff. I mean, if they still had CM Punk and they were doing Punk versus Omega in the main event, then the attendance would probably be better than the first one. But the card will be very dependent. The history has now been made already with this year's one. So it's not to say it's going to completely plummet or fail, and that won't happen. But people now have a choice to make, basically. Whereas opposed to yesterday, they didn't have a choice to make.
When you mean people, I think you mean people that overseas. Obviously, us Europeans, we can just boat Eurostar.
Yes, for some of us that can afford it, we're still in a crisis of, you know, financial power.
And also, let's not forget, WWE ticket prices are crazy, stadium or not. Even if it was in heaven, there's better seats in heaven. They'll still start the ticket price for £400.
Yeah,
they don't care.
At the end of the day, as well, yeah, like you said, like even though some people could be able to go over, some people might be like saving up money to go all. Like I remember, like people like All In, the tickets weren't that expensive, but people are like, oh, you know what? It's my first wrestling show. Let me save money to, you know, go here. Now, not a lot. Majority of wrestling fans, like working class people, won't be like, hey, I'm gonna go Berlin and I'm gonna go here. You know what I'm saying? Mandem have to work. Yeah. So it's forcing people a choice to make. It's giving people a choice to make, which at the end of the day, it's business, isn't it? Like I can't even say like this or that. It's business. Like WWE saw it and said, you know what? We probably can't do another London show. All right, cool. Berlin. Let's do it. Let's ignite the German fans.
And even on top of that, WWE, I think Sean's like Fightful as per said that there's another PLE coming to Europe as well, and there's a Backlash 2024 straight after Mania. These lot are headed to Paris, France, to go and do Backlash 2024. That's also something mad as well. That's big. You man head to that as well. There's so much going on right now. Like
I might be there. I might be there. Who knows?
So much going on, but it's nice. Competition is nice. Competition is nice and healthy, and it should be like this. We should be because with what Tony has done now with this whole All In stuff, WWE gonna be throwing more at us. We won't even get a SummerSlam here one day because of this. So yeah, let it happen, man. Let it happen, man. I'm happy for it, man.
He's the one that's been driving these stadium shows and taking these PLEs and almost bringing life to these B-rated shows or whatever we call them, by putting them in stadiums or bigger arenas or taking them abroad. So good way to, you know, bring interest to something that people probably don't care about. The only other thing I'll say on this is obviously the minute they've stuck it in Germany, Gunther's name is ringing off.
Yeah.
Do you think this could be an anointing of a new world champion?
I said anointed. You know, you said that, yeah. I picture
Yeah.
Gunther on the front like this. The president presiding elder, Bishop, Doctor Gunther.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or do you think they're gonna play it how they played Drew and basically make him be the poster boy for it all, and then do him?
I'll tell you something right now. Not to be deep here. I love Cody. Cody's great. Cody, yeah, he makes me happy. But if Cody beats Roman Reigns, and Gunther is still undefeated with that Intercontinental title, and he comes out to get Cody Rhodes, and Cody Rhodes beats him at and Berlin, there's gonna be a lot of angry people. Because Cody Rhodes, obviously, he's good, but he's not that super for him to go over, unless he does a Brock thing where he beats him by a fake pin, whatever. But if they're gonna do it, if they're gonna put the belt on, if they're gonna give Gunther a match, then it should be for the belt, I reckon. He's not even from Germany, he's from Austria, but yeah.
Yeah. Kaiser's from Germany, though.
Yeah.
I think they will give Gunther the other belt, the other world heavyweight title.
Or beat
And
Seth.
I think that suits him better anyway. I think it looks better. That will look better on him than these colored belts and stuff.
Yeah, I agree. That Pop's gonna be mad as well. Pop's gonna be epic. I definitely agree.
And well deserved, because he is, by Dave Meltzer's opinion, at the very least, he's the best wrestler in WWE.
Yeah,
he's got the most 5-star matches. So
he's one of the best in the world. Gunther is up there. Any top 10 list must include Gunther. Yeah, it must. Yeah, they're definitely gonna have him. You guys can hear me, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, they're definitely gonna have him prominently on the card. Yeah, getting that European audience. Who's another European don they can put on the card?
Sheamus, Drew McIntyre,
Butch, Dragunov could possibly
Dragunov, yeah.
Dragunov, that's a good one.
A-Kid, what's his name again? What's it? I forgot. Axiom. Lyra Valkyria, Becky Lynch. Even there's plenty of European talent that could be on this, man. Giovanni Vinci.
Put them all.
They can be on there. So like, even though I was even thinking about this year, I was even thinking to myself, maybe with this whole announcement that it's going to be in Berlin, is this now a thing where from this Berlin show they're now going to announce this NXT Europe thing?
Maybe
it'll probably be in effect by then.
Because NXT Europe was supposed to be launched as of
January
this year, or something. But I believe the TKO stuff held it up. They didn't want to start it with the TKO stuff looming. So, quite possibly by next year it could be in full effect.
Do we even need NXT Europe? Because the way things are now, NXT is cooking right now, fam. It's bare fun with all these wrestlers in there. Because I'm sure if NXT Europe comes, they're now going to be taking out this guy, and form NXT Europe, innit? Unless they start a whole new, a fresh thing where they're now putting that indie talent.
It's globalization. WWE will do it because they wanna, they like expansion, innit? So they're gonna do it. I don't think it will have that much of an effect on actual NXT, because I remember NXT UK and NXT Black and Gold. They NXT UK obviously was a much smaller brand, and we can argue like how successful it was, but it didn't really impact like the day-to-day of NXT Black and Gold. But obviously now that NXT is more streamlined these days and there's a lot more synergy around the company, I don't know. I don't think NXT UK, Europe will have a problem with NXT. I don't think they will impact each other negatively. I think it'll be
they will probably send some guys there to help establish it. Some stars and whatever, whether it's NXT, whether it's European stars or even Americans, they'll probably send someone there to help establish it. But the question probably should be, how much will it affect like the indies in Europe? Saw how NXT UK affected people in Rev Pro, affected people in Progress, because they just came and swept up hella talent. So being NXT Europe, I don't know if they're just going to tour all around Europe. That might, not it might help to not kind of cause too much trouble in one place like it did in England when it was NXT UK. But yeah, the indies are probably the one that's gonna suffer more so than NXT Florida.
Yeah,
I can't lie. I'm not for the NXT Europe, you know.
Why not?
I feel like it's just gonna have the same fate as NXT UK. It will be there for a bit, but they're gonna struggle to maintain it, and they'll just scrap it in the end.
The pandemic is what hit NXT UK
because they were meant to go on that tour. Do you remember that?
NXT UK was touring.
Yeah, touring. Yeah,
it was touring. They'll do tapings in like maybe Blackpool for a couple weeks of TV. It'll go to Brighton. It'll go to this place. It was touring around the country. It was when the pandemic came. They hit, BT Sports Studios, and then I don't know. They just never really worked from there.
So I got a question as well, right? With NXT Europe, right? NXT America is the main thing. Are people going to be crossing over, or are they just stuck in Europe? Because I feel like people from NXT America should be going to NXT Europe. People from NXT Europe should be going to America, like back and forth in a way.
So I think it's a case of still like NXT America is the hub, and then all of these other ones, because NXT Europe is just one. They're literally planning like NXT Mexico, NXT Japan, and all of these places are going to feed into NXT America, and then obviously onto main roster sort of thing. Okay. But like I said, they'll probably send people from NXT America to NXT Europe and all these other places when they start it, just to help establish these brands and get us watching them. Because, it's like when they sent Finn Balor to NXT UK and they wanted to do a program there with him and, was it Gunther at the time or Dragunov at the time? But then pandemic came. So,
yeah.
Cool.
I think we got one more topic on the thing. Should there obviously be in WWE right now? Like I feel like there's only that one title for the women to get at. AEW's got they've got the TBS Women's Championship and they've got they've actually got the Women's Championship as well. So there's a lot to go around in that place. But if WWE's only that one title, and we can really see how how hard it is for these women to even get an opportunity with Rhea Ripley holding the title already. Should there be an introduction of a new women's title? Maybe a women's intercontinental title or women's, something title.
Yeah, people are speaking about this a lot at the minute. Like, should there be especially a WWE mid-card title? Like you said, AEW's already adopted like a women's mid-card title, and I guess Becky Lynch with the NXT women's title has been like the evidence that a women's mid-card title could work. Yeah. Now it's arguable, did it work because it was Becky Lynch that held the belt and it's going around and doing stuff? Would we be so interested if it was, I don't know, Indy Hartwell as champion doing that? But I think at the same time, AEW, where we saw Jade's reign as TBS champion kind of go stale, is because she wasn't fighting anyone. Like, no one was dropping down from that main level to come and fight her. And I feel like we're seeing the same thing now with Chris Statlander. As good as a champion and the in-ring performances she's giving, like, okay, Britt Baker dropped down for like a hot second and it's gone again. Like, they need to do more in terms of that to help establish these belts so that people care about them.
Yeah.
So yeah, in one company you've got a mid-card belt, but I think it's not maybe being put front and center in a way. And then in another company we've got nothing in the mid-card unless it was this NXT title run. But that could be proof that this could work. Absolutely. So I don't know.
Absolutely. I don't think women's mid-card belts work.
Not even in AEW.
They can, okay, you can make them work. Anything's possible. You can make it work. In AEW, I think in AEW, the reason why the TBS title worked initially, because it was like, okay, Jade was hot. We gave something to somebody that was like on fire, Jade. But as you said, it kind of petered out, and then Chris Statlander's kind of been doing what's the state of the WWE tag team belts?
So it's been unified. and Piper Niven. Sorry, what's the name again?
Piper Niven and Chelsea Green. Yeah.
Does she talk about Piper Niven? She
she goes by Piper Niven.
Oh, she go by. Oh, great. I'm going for a Dewdrop. Piper Niven and Chelsea Green got the title, and it's they've given us fun moments in it, but they're not really like. Obviously, they got a title defense next week at Halloween Havoc too, but they're not really like as what's the best way?
They're not like active defending champions.
Yeah, they're not, man. They're just holding the title and giving us like great moments backstage.
Yeah.
So let's say we add a mid-card title. You'd have the women's title, mid-card title, and then the tag titles, because I'm not going to include an NXT because NXT is NXT. So you'd potentially have 3 titles on the product. And already, from what I've seen the discourse online be, the tag team titles are already like not being featured as they should be, or not being featured as much as they could, which I think the tag team, if we're gonna add the tag team title is fine because it adds a different dynamic to the division. It does split the roster apart a bit because now you have to take 2 talent away from the roster. But I don't know, I just think with the way wrestling is, the women barely get time as it is. WWE do a good job of giving women time anyways, but like compared to the men on the roster as a whole, women will never get as much time. Then you're dividing that time amongst multiple different titles. I just think it just gets I just don't see a scenario where the mid-card title gets the treatment that we want it to get. Because even booking a men's mid-card title with the amount of time Mandem have is difficult.
Yeah.
Now go on.
If you give the title to someone like, sorry, you want to say something, Laps?
Yeah, the root of the problem is, bro, they don't get enough time. It's timing's the issue. Adding the mid-card title, yeah, now you're kind of forced to make extra time for it, but is it enough time to really promote and elevate the title? The women's world titles, bro, don't even get enough time, bro. It doesn't. So how can you introduce a new title when your main title isn't even getting much love? Now you're just bringing another baby into the world that you're not gonna love.
I mean, I think for now it makes sense for. I think it makes sense for WWE to have a mid card title because Rhea Ripley's busy doing this whole Judgment Day leader sort of thing, and it's cool. Don't get me wrong, it's cool, it's nice, but you're sacrificing the title for that.
Exactly.
And if WWE now bring in a strong another title like their version of a world heavyweight title like what Seth has got, and they give it to someone like a Shayna Baszler, and she goes on a mad run, and she comes up against Raquel Gonzalez, and Raquel Gonzalez beats her. Then that run, do you get what I mean? You need someone, if you're going to give the title to someone, give it to someone that's going to do a Gunther or do a Gunther or a Seth and let them run it for a bit whilst Rhea Ripley's still doing her thing. Now, when it's time for Rhea Ripley to lose that title, she loses it to Charlotte. But then again, the only problem is this. If now when someone else wins that title, that mid-card title now becomes a bit...
Exactly.
So it's hard, man. Like,
that's why I don't advocate for titles for the sake of giving someone a shot. I've never liked that reasoning in terms of I'm going to introduce a title because we need to give other people. I feel like, don't get me wrong, the champion should always be the champion, yeah. But I feel like I like scarcity in wrestling, and obviously mid-card titles are a thing we do with the men. So I understand why people are bringing it to the women, but are we introducing a mid-card title or secondary title? Because if it's a mid-card title, I'm fine with it. A secondary...
Go on, NK, say that again.
You're kind of...
Okay, we can't hear you.
You're mute.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. I was saying that if we're introducing a mid-card title, maybe, but if we're introducing something that's adjacent or comparable to the women's title, then I'm against it. I'm absolutely against it. Because I like scarcity in wrestling where there's one main prize that everyone's going for. And I feel like even in wrestling these days, one thing I'm not that I don't like, but because this is across both companies, because there's so many different titles, not everyone and their grandma should be saying, I want to be world champion. Everyone and their grandma should be saying that world championship is the most important thing to me. I'm doing number one contenderships. I'm doing, do you know what I'm saying? There should be, and the thing you get with titles should be placed in like, not rankings, but like, I remember when WWE used to do like, these number one contendership, not battle royals, but like matches. For example, I remember it was when they unveiled the Universal title, which was good. But I remember week to week, it was like a tournament to see who would get to the finals.
Yeah.
I'm like, the same effort you'd put into a tournament for unveiling a new title, why can't we do that to create a number one contender? Have maybe a 3-week program where it's like, okay, cool, here's a tournament to crown the next number one contender. That's all it is. What's Royal Rumble's glorified number one contender? But it's value. You've got 30 man in the ring saying, I want the shot to be champion. It's a glorified number one contendership. But the fact that you've got all of these man and gal in the ring saying, I wanna be number one, creates value. So for me, instead of creating a new title, find innovative ways to create value for your main title.
Yeah, that's a great point.
I even forgot we just had the women's SmackDown women's title and the Raw women's title. And that was also a great thing as well, because I remember when the winner of the Rumble win, they'll stand in the ring with both SmackDown and Raw title and be like, I pick you. And that was fun as well. You know what I mean? But now we don't have that, and it's just straight Rhea Ripley now. It's like, I do feel like we do need something though.
They need to care about the women's tag division because, like we said, it's innovative. It's already there. Like, they've got tag teams, or they have ample women not doing anything that they can put into tag teams at the very least. Like, that should be the mid-card belt for the women. This run with Becky Lynch that, you know, we've said was great because she's kind of elevated stars and stuff, and it looked like a mid-card because obviously we know on that same brand there is a world champion. It only works because it's Becky Lynch. Yeah. Or it would only work because it's a Charlotte Flair that had the title. The minute someone like a Tegan Knox, respectfully, Indy Hartwell, respectfully, any one of these other ladies would have that title, we would just see it as fodder, and they'll probably be doing 2-minute matches out there. And you know, we wouldn't be being called to do promos that they're gonna air on the show. You see what I mean? So it's because of who has had the title as to why we care, and you know, this is a discussion. They've got tag titles, they need to book it better. They've got tag teams, female tag teams that they've become and put what's this girl's name? Katen Catanzaro
and what's her name? They're a great tag team. Yeah.
They're a great tag team. Yeah, all they put them in is backstage stuff, gossiping like gossiping women. Like, you actually have a tag team title here that you can involve them in.
Even what's her name? Carla Wright. What's her name again?
Kaylee Ray and Alba Fire, Alba Fire and
that's
Kaylee
a tag
Ray
team.
And Fire, the same person.
Kaylee Ray and what's Kaylee Ray? What's Thing's wife? What's the guy called again? Where's the guy? How can I forget this guy's name? Champions tag team partner. He's champions guy.
Candice LeRae.
Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell. That's a tag team there as well.
Yeah.
There's plenty of tag teams that they can make, and even it's gonna sound as mad, but I wouldn't even mind if they said, you know, Nia Jackson flipping Shayna Baszler become a tag team.
They were tag team champions in the past.
There you go, perfect. Yeah. A tag team jackpot where they just picking out names. We're gonna do a tag team. We're gonna reset the whole tag team thing. Bam, because now we've got 2 GMs. They can do whatever they want now. Pick out tag team name, put these guys together. The winner of the thing gets a title shot at the tag team belts. Done.
You've got even done NXT. You got Jakara Jackson and Lash Legend. You've
got Lola Vice, who's dramatically improved.
Yeah, you got Lola Vice and what's her face?
What's her name? Yeah, Electra
Lopez. Yeah, they've got tag teams. Like, they are just not booking it, not caring. Right now, they're just leaving the belts on Chelsea Green because Chelsea Green is providing great entertainment value. That's about it. And it's a way to get Chelsea Green on TV every week.
Yeah. Well, all right, cool. I want to say a quick shout out, because I saw this thing on Instagram and I'm very impressed. I'm even impressed with the fact that, how did I not know this? So I think Max, you posted it. Big up Gerard Bono as well.
Yeah, Gerard Bono, yeah.
They've got a thing called All Caribbean Wrestling, and I'm impressed. It's a Caribbean promotion. They're based in Montego Bay. They're having a show pretty much soon, and it's Gerard Bono and what's this guy called again? Caprice Coleman.
Yeah, Caprice Coleman.
Ring of Honor, from Ring of Honor, the one that does commentary for Ring of Honor, and they're literally commentating this show, and it's called the Saturday Bash, Mobe Bash. And on the card, I think they've actually got a good, like, what they've got. The name that I saw that kind of impressed me was they got Elijah Pope on there.
Yeah,
they got Red Velvet as well from NXT, from AEW. They even got that guy that used to be part of Nexus. I forgot his name. What's the guy called again? South African guy.
South
Justin
Africa.
Gabriel.
The white
Justin
bread.
Gabriel. They got
Yeah,
Justin Gabriel on there. Yeah, Justin Gable's on there. They got quite a lot of people, and a lot of people have actually passed through that. I even see a video of D'Lo Brown there. So big up to all Caribbean wrestling, man. Hopefully we can. Hopefully when I do go to Jamaica one day, I'll be able. When I go back to Jamaica, I'll take a trip down to Mo Bay, and I actually stayed in Mo Bay. If I do stay in Mo Bay again, I'll come and watch it in it because that's actually impressive. Good big time, man. I'm actually impressed. So
it's a good look still.
Big up them, man. Let me go through the comments on last week's video. 8 comments, sorry. Sorry, I'll go through that now. So, comment from Emperor Jar, he's a member. Best episode in recent memory. Yeah, I totally agree. That. What do you guys think?
The Darius Lockhart one, yeah.
Darius Lockhart, yeah.
Yeah, it was a very good chat.
Yeah. Grap with Guap, Del, he said, my favorite episode we've done so far. I totally agree. I proper enjoyed it. Sapine Smokey said, Darius is right. The more black promoters there are, the more black talent the local scene puts on. But more
100%.
black talent gets hired by major companies, the more black talent succeed building clout and getting boardrooms and production meetings. Yep.
I agree.
Yep. SD Kizzle said, this was a great episode, especially during Black History Month. I'm hoping Ashay reached the moon in regards to success. Darius comes across as very sincere and genuine and is a stellar performer. Hope he does return and I'll be tuning to Ashay live. Yep. Totally agree. Roy Johnson, he's got the gold thing, got the gold plate. That means he's been for how long? He's been for a time still. He said, what a get for Black History Month. Yeah, absolutely. It all made sense. He messaged us late, I think August, September. And I actually forgot it was Black History Month, and obviously it all made sense, man. It all aligned. Darren, big up Darren, he's got a gold thing as well, gold plate as well. He said, this has definitely been one of the best podcasts you guys have done. I didn't know Darius before today. I'll definitely be checking out his work and Ashay out. Yeah, man. Check out Darius Lockhart's work. He's worked with your favorites like MJF, Shane Strickland, Lee Moriarty, plenty of people. Cedric Alexander.
Yeah, this first match.
There's a long list. Yeah, there's a long list, man. A proper long list. So, yeah.
One last thing, before we cut. Let me just
bring it up.
Oh, is it? Okay, finish the comments.
SD Kizzle said, what time is it? Nation time. Darius is a dope get of a guest. Then OJMO, big up Michael Oku, he said, yo, which is basically shocked, as in yo, crazy. But yeah, big up over that commenting, man. Keep commenting, and we'll reply back to your comments next week. You go on, bro.
In the last week or so, PWI 250 come out. That's the women's list, right? Top, I'm gonna try it, go off the top of my head. Number 1, Rhea Ripley. Number 2, Julia. Number 3 was Bianca Belair. 4 and 5 is a bit foggy without me looking. Number 6 was Athena, right? So this is who I wanted to particularly speak about. Now, I feel like it's hard because Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair for sure are on mainstream products, and it's escaping me now who is 3rd and 4th and 5th. Like I said, I'll check it in a second. But
Jamie Hayter, I think Jamie Hayter was
Jamie Hayter was number 4.
Yeah,
that's for sure. Number 5, who's number 5? But I feel like Athena is probably, all things considered, in the correct place. If anything, that's kind of lost her points or ranking. It's probably how mainstream or whatever she's on, can she be seen? The visibility, basically. But I would argue someone like maybe Julia, and I'm not saying that Athena should be ahead of Julia, but is Stardom more visible than Ring of Honor?
No,
and is it just a general question?
No, but Stardom, because remember, I think Stardom is considered the premier women's promotion. And considering based on the criteria they had last year, and also I think PWI's criteria is obviously based on a lot of things: wins, losses,
championships,
and
visibility,
in terms of like how they value things, they probably see the Stardom women's the red belt at Stardom as a bigger achievement than the ROH Women's Championship, based on current booking of ROH. So based on their criteria, I get it. If this was a list based on like performances or like whatever, then we'd be having a different conversation. But because I remember when the PWI came out and I saw a lot of my mutuals saying Athena, and I was like, based on that criteria, it's not happening. So Athena getting into top 6 based on their criteria makes sense. If you want to argue her a different criteria in terms of okay, who's been like an outstanding women's wrestler performer, then that's a totally different conversation, because then Athena is really, really in the mix of like as an individual women's wrestler based on character, work, and all of those things. Of course, but PWI's list is more. I don't want to say kayfabe as a disrespect, but it takes into consideration, like kayfabe.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's it.
Just to run through, so it's Rhea Ripley number 1, Julia number 2, 3 Bianca Belair, number 4 Jamie Hayter, number 5 Tam Nakano, number 6 Athena, number 7 Deonna Purrazzo, number 8 Willow Nightingale, number 9 Camille, and number 10 was Jordan Grace. Asuka was number 11, Toni Storm number 12, Jade Cargill finished number 14. Who else? Roxanne Perez had a good year, had 15. Chris Statlander was number 18. Trinity finished number 23, if I remember. Mercedes Moné didn't make the list, but I think that's down to a lack of activity.
Yeah, she's only had like maybe 4 matches? No, 3 matches?
I think you need to have like minimum of 6 matches to make the list or something like that. So yeah, it was just interesting to see how they gauge it. I guess this particular list, if you guys remember last year, the top 10 was littered with names from Stardom, and then everyone was calling into question this, that, and the other. But yeah, it's kind of, I think everything is fair. It's just, I guess, how they rank visibility.
Yeah, they rank it pretty highly. Highly. But which, like you said, Stardom last year was just more so because it's weird though, because you are right. Because Stardom last year was ranked mainly because of outstanding performance. Now it's more, this list looks like about visibility. So I don't know. I don't know what exactly the criteria is, but I know, for example, how Athena being exclusive of Ring of Honor hampered her in terms of this list.
Yeah, I think it's about right where she finished, but I guess this is when you can do your own rankings, you can make up the criteria as you go along.
Basically.
Yeah. And it's getting to that time of year where we might do our own rankings.
Yeah. I'm seeing a tier ranking coming up on the calendar. Yeah, so tier ranking is officially is that announcement? Yeah,
it's the season. It's the season for it, isn't it? So I've got to get to work on that.
I've got my documents ready, fam. I've got my documents ready.
Yeah, tier rankings it's on the come up, so it's gonna be a good one this year, man. Yeah, cool. Any announcements before we go?
When's the next Hustle?
Oh yes,
November 21st at the Color Factory, Hustle Wrestling. Make sure you're there. We had the biggest crowd this month. You don't want to miss this one. We're out.
Yeah. Go grab some merch, WWE merch. Go grab Wrestling's merch as well. Basement Grooves. When's Basement Grooves again?
What was that?
Basement Grooves. The new Basement Grooves. 26, right?
Laps.
26th of November, Basement Grooves, Stoke Newington. Make sure you're there. Get your tickets. Bring your mum, bring your auntie, bring your grandma, bring everybody. It's gonna be a vibe. You feel me? Games, music, drinks, foods, whatever your soul desires, it's going to be there. So make sure you're there. 26th November, Stoke Newington, Basement Grooves. Flyers out soon.
Also, going to say a quick shout out to everyone that featured on the Black History Month content this month.
Yeah,
everyone from people from the States, people from local towards us. Big up everyone that featured. We've got a final video dropping pretty soon. If not the Thursday, that's happening now, the week after, be the final day of the year, final day of the month. Dropping soon. You got quick one. You got Knowledge on there. You got Sati Nyangi. You got Skillet. You got Expressions, and you got Sam Blacks all on the panel talking about wrestling in the 90s. So I can't wait for you guys to check that out and listen to it and see how that is. And yeah, a lot of great points been said. So when that drops, you guys have a watch and let us know what you think, the comments and that. But guys, we're gonna love you leaving here. I've been Anafi,
Mex,
Laps.
Okay.
This is Wrestlers Podcast episode 195.
That's right.
Go tell your mumsy, tell your dadsy, tell everyone, let everyone know that Wrestlings is worldwide now. You know what I mean? So NK's got the call coming through right now. So we're gonna lock off the two guys. We're gonna love you and leave you here, man. Catch us on the next episode.